American Sports News. I'm Colin, and this is Jack.
I'll be filling in for Frankie today in football because Frankie's not here today, and usually I'm on hockey and baseball, but I'm testing out my skills in the football field.
Yep, and obviously we have a great start to another awesome NFL season. We have San Diego looking like a powerhouse.
Wow, they've just been dominating the league these
Unbelievable.
first five games.
Yeah, we got Tom Brady in the Patriots. What's going on? 3-2? That's not usual. Brady's not looking good, offensive line. And how about them Cowboys, Jack?
4-1, they're getting off to a really hard start. Let's just see if they can keep it up through the rest of the season.
Oh, they're playing Seattle. Big test. And obviously last night, Indianapolis going against the Texans. And if you have any of their big players on fantasy, you're one lucky guy.
All right, so we'll start off with the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
They have just been incredible these first few weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Phillip Rivers has been 100% on point. He's just been playing incredibly, and along with their defense, they've just been perfect combination.
It's been extremely balanced. Now they're turning Brandon Oliver into a Darren Sproles, a younger version.
Exactly.
Which is one of the biggest weapons to have in football, a receiving running back. And right now, if I had to vote MVP, my vote's going to Phillip Rivers. He has led this team.
And their running back, he's 5'7".
Oh yeah, I know.
And he claims to be 5'8", but some people say he's even 5'6".
Unbelievable.
He's a short guy.
It's not like San Diego has any Des Bryant or Julio Jones on their receiving core. Mm-hmm. It's a core that works together, and they can it's like Seattle. They get each other open. They make plays for each other, if you can think that way.
They're just like, there's not one star player on that team. They're just a whole unit that works together. They win together, they lose together.
And like obviously in the past, they've had a good offense. They have a okay record. They'll get a wild card, lose in the first round. This year, I don't know. I think they have a really good chance this year because of the defense. That defense looks really, really good.
I say they have a chance to make the playoffs and
go
pretty far in the playoffs.
Definitely. And have they played Denver yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, so they may have or they may not have, but the first or second game with them in Denver, it's going to be crazy. Because, those two could be the AFC Championship game if it works out that way. And so let's move on to the hometown team, the New England Patriots.
You know, Tom Brady and the Pats, they haven't been awful this year.
They've been like the Patriots.
They've had one or two good wins, but otherwise they've just been squeaking by if they're winning.
Exactly.
They lost to the Chiefs. That was embarrassing.
Oh, that was one of the worst losses I've seen them play.
And Brady threw a pick. Him and Edelman just didn't communicate. He throws a pick, and the D-back, he returned it for something like, he returned it to like the 10, and he was jogging around. He was just jogging. He was holding the ball in one hand, pointing, getting blocks. I know they all play offense.
The game was over.
But they
gave up.
They didn't give any effort to try and make a tackle.
That Chiefs game though, Arrowhead was crazy. They got the sound record back from Seattle, so I don't think many teams could have won that night. But obviously the Patriots, in years past, after a big loss, they're 36-4, Jack. Mm-hmm. After one loss. It's not always what they did to the Bengals, how they win. Sometimes they squeak by. But it seems like every time everybody's saying, no way, they're going to be second, third place in the AFC East. Look what happened. We saw Tom Brady be Tom Brady. We saw Gronk be Gronk.
It was just even that the first minute into that game, the Patriots, their defensive team, they usually like to defer with the coin toss.
They took it.
They lost, and then they received. Wow, they just exploded.
And you know what was the most surprising? On that 4th and 1 when they were on like the 25.
And Brady just took it.
Yeah, no hesitation. Brady would not give the ball to Steven Gostkowski to kick a field goal. He wanted to score a touchdown and say something to the Bengals. I don't care how good your defense is.
He was doing his best impression of Michael Vick.
Oh, I know. He had like a 7-yard rush, too.
I know.
I've never seen him move out of the pocket like that.
He looked just like Michael Vick running around like that.
But obviously, they're playing the Bills this weekend, who I think is not a bad team.
They're a tough competitor now. In the past, they haven't been, but now they've gotten a lot better in the offseason. But I just hope that the Patriots' offensive line can play like they did against the Bengals.
That would be awesome.
Against the Chiefs, they were just horrible.
And Tom Bahali at the strip sack.
And just on the offseason, losing Logan Mankins to Tampa Bay.
Tim Wright showed up.
Yeah, but that's a huge loss to the offensive line.
And it's not just the line; he's a leader.
I know, and the Patriots have always been known for a good offensive line, and this year they're just struggling.
Yeah, we usually see the Patriots consistent on offense. You know that they're going to be a good team, but defense where they seem struggling. This year it's been absolutely flipped.
I know.
The defense looks like it could carry the team. But anyway, Jack.
The Cowboys off to a wicked hot start, 4-1.
Exactly, and they have been. It's not like they're beating the Jaguars and the Raiders. They played some solid teams and they beat them. Tony Romo doesn't look bad. DeMarco Murray.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Des Bryant.
Looks like the best receiver.
He's making these circus catches. He hasn't made catches like that in
Unbelievable.
2 years.
I mean, DeMarco Murray's on pace to break 2,000 yards. He's got to hang on to that football though.
Yeah.
Coughed it up in 4 or 5 games.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think that Cowboys are in the South, right?
East.
I think that if they keep this up, they just might have a shot.
Maybe
to win
they'll go over 8-8 for once.
Maybe.
Oh my goodness! But
I think the Giants are the favorite for that. But
I would go Philly.
I think the Giants are looking really hot this year.
Eli looks good, yeah.
If the Cowboys keep up this pace,
we
then
could
they're
see something.
Definitely gonna win that.
We could definitely see something
the East Division.
Really interesting. And imagine the Cowboys getting back to the Super Bowl. That'd be excellent for the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Because
they're the franchise team.
Exactly. And this weekend, we'll really see if they're all flukes, the wins, or if the Cowboys are a serious contender, not just for the division title, not just for the NFC title, for the Super Bowl. Because guess who they're playing, Jack?
Who?
The defending world champions Seattle Seahawks and that Legion of Boom secondary. Des Bryant's going to be tested. Murray's going to be tested on the receiving part. Seattle's got an excellent front four and linebacking core. We will see how this offense reacts.
And the Cowboys, although they like to go through the air, they do go on the run quite a bit.
He's been the workhorse.
Exactly, but the Seattle defensive line, they've gone with an 8-man front before.
They have.
And they're incredible at stopping the run game, and they can do that 8-man front with that secondary.
And yeah, right now DeMarco Murray, obviously the best running back in the NFL so far. Pete Carroll probably has a great defensive scheme to shut down Tony Romo, Des Bryant, DeMarco Murray, the 3 best players.
All right, and what about Indianapolis last night?
Exactly.
Against the Colts?
Texans.
Indianapolis was playing the Colts. How about that?
Yeah, I know.
Indianapolis was playing the Texans. And they just looked incredible.
The
Everything was working.
The offense looked great.
Everything. The Houston defense is usually pretty good.
J.J. Watt, another touchdown, Jack.
I know.
He's more than LaShawn McCoy.
The Texans defense was just not looking as good as it usually does, especially in that first quarter. And then T.Y. Hilton.
Oh,
he went off. It was crazy.
What was it? 223 yards and a touchdown. If you had him on fantasy last night, you are one happy man. Or woman. But Ahmad Bradshaw, I believe, got a touchdown. Luck threw 3. Indy could be another AFC contender. Well, that's all we got today for football.
Also.
All right.
The Colts kicker, McAfee, he had a beautiful onside kick.
That onside kick was textbook.
It was crazy. the Texans had this crazy kick return formation. They had no one up front. McAfee just lobbed it. Just lobbed
First time
it
I've
right
seen
over.
audible on special teams.
Exactly. He just lobs it right to the 10. He circled around the ball. He had enough time to just wait. Right when across the 10, he hopped on it. Colts get the ball back right after a touchdown.
It was a great play.
It was incredible.
Well,
then the next play, T.Y. Hilton goes down to the 5. No, he went down to the...
sorry, 5.
It was an arguable play. He got hit with the foot.
Yep. Well, definitely enjoy watching some football on this long weekend. This is all we got for football. I'm Colin. This is Jack. Hello. Welcome to basketball. I'm Colin. This is our guest Robbie today, and we're going to go back to some more power rankings.
Let's recap what you and Frankie covered last week.
Sure.
At 30, you had, just say you're
I had Philly. No talent. Sorry. Just no
we're
talent.
not going into depth. Just tell me what you had.
I had Orlando after that, Milwaukee, Utah Jazz, and Los Angeles Lakers. That's what I had.
I wasn't here, but this is what I would have. At 30, I got the 76ers. I'm pretty sure that almost every single list would have that.
Hopefully everybody has.
Then we got the Bucks. Then I got the Magic. Then I got the Jazz, and then I got the T-Wolves.
Oh. What? Timberwolves?
Well, this leads me into my next discussion, which is 25. I've got the Lakers.
I've got the Celtics. They're about the same.
Wait until you see what I have the Celtics ranked at, but we'll get to that later.
I'll get to that. I'm not going to be happy because I feel like they're going to be way too high, but, you know.
You think they should be any lower than 25 or at that, like, tops?
Ish. 26, 25.
So
24.
I got the Kings. I mean,
I agree with you.
There's so much, like, they've had hype and stuff, but they've never, like, lived up to it.
They try to get too much offense.
What's the point guard there?
They lost Isaiah Thomas to Phoenix. So now they have Darren Collison. They have Darren Collison. He's always been a backup point guard, so he's a speedy kid, not the greatest shooter. He can get to the rim.
And I thought Isaiah Thomas was that's his name, right?
Isaiah Thomas. Yeah. Isaiah Thomas.
I thought he was actually underrated when he was there.
He's extremely underrated. He was a 20-point scorer.
In my opinion, he had better stats than Kyrie if you looked at it.
Whoa! Are you comparing Isaiah Thomas to Kyrie Irving?
He had better stats than him.
That's just why you don't do basketball, Robbie.
Yeah, no, he had better stats than him.
Stats don't mean anything in the NBA.
Stats mean everything in the NBA.
Not everything. How many, look at the Spurs. They didn't have any 20-point scorers, Robbie. They won the championship.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, stats don't win anything.
What did the Cavaliers win last year? Huh?
Nothing.
All right. There we go.
You're not helping your argument, you realize.
What? The Cavs, what did they win? You're saying that...
I'm saying stats don't matter, and look at the Spurs. They had nobody averaging 25
Kyrie
and 10.
shoots too much. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, now he's not this year. Look at their loaded team.
All right, now we'll go to 23. Colin?
I got Indiana Pacers. If you saw Paul George's injury, you know why I'm putting them here.
Oof.
He shouldn't play. He will not play this year.
That was... why would you risk it? You know you're not going to make the playoffs without him. So
if he comes back, it'll be too late.
If he comes back and you're trying to make a run at the playoffs, I can kind of understand that. But if you're not going to make the playoffs, don't even start.
If you're going for an 8 seed, what's the point?
Because he is your franchise player. And
he's a young kid.
You don't want that. You know what it looked like?
Second best two-way player.
Kevin Ware.
Not as bad. Or no, I mean worse. I think that was worse in my eyes.
Yes. Wait, who do you think's a better two-way player than Paul George?
LeBron James.
That's debatable.
Yep.
It's debatable. You can go either way with it. I think Paul George is a better defensive player than LeBron.
Yes, but
I do think LeBron is the most gifted offensive player in the NBA.
He can play all 5 positions, but we're not talking about LeBron. We're talking about the Indiana Pacers. Right now, they have Roy Hibbert. Played awful last year.
In my opinion, he's overrated. Especially, you could see what he had in the playoffs. Oh my God!
Gosh.
Or even down the stretch when they were the best team in the NBA.
They still got it. They still got not the best record.
They
got the first
top
seed,
spot. But they kind of remind me of the Oakland Athletics this year in baseball. Sorry, I had to go to that.
Hey, it's an excellent comparison.
It is. now for my 23, I have the Pistons.
Okay.
And then I get the Pacers at 22. Who do you have 22?
22, I have the Timberwolves. That's why I didn't like when he put them there. I think their starting five is extremely good all around. Ricky Rubio.
I love
top,
Ricky Rubio.
Top 5 passing point guard. And this team is going to be so fun.
Don't start with me, Colin. I love Ricky Rubio, dude. I'm not gonna say that he's not that great.
The only guy
Top
who's better
10? Yes.
for passing.
Top 10
The
passing?
Rock.
Yeah.
Why
Not
not
top
top 5? Who's
Not
better?
Rondo. Tony Parker. He has
Parker was never known for a passing person,
eight
Robbie.
assists. 8 assists per game.
It doesn't. No, you see what Rubio does with the ball? He drives, looks one way, passes this way. Tony Parker will look you in the eyes.
You said assists.
Yeah, passing though. Passing doesn't mean
Okay.
passing to the post and the guy scores for you. Passing, in my eyes, means setting somebody
Setting
up.
someone up even to get the assist. I get you.
Yeah.
Setting the whole play up. All right.
Exactly.
All right,
But
I
they're
can
gonna be
see that.
so fun to watch. They got Wiggins and Levine.
I think Wiggins is going to be fun to watch.
And that other kid from UCLA, Zach Levine, or Veen, I don't know how to say it, but
Yeah.
he
So,
is going to be
Just real quick,
fun.
fan of the Love trade, or are you a fan of Wiggy?
I think it was better for Timberwolves, and the reason why is because Kevin Love, he'll be with the Cavs for 5 years. LeBron's, 30. So, and LeBron will be
So
good.
they'll have all 3 of their stars in their prime. I think it's better for the Cavs.
LeBron is 30, Robbie. It's not the prime. That's the last year of prime.
Are you kidding me?
Do you know basketball?
Do you know any sport?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
When you look at LeBron, he's based on athleticism running down the court.
Yep.
He's going to
You're
lose that
telling
in
me
2
when
years.
he loses his athleticism, he won't be as good.
I'm not going to... Of course he won't be as good.
I agree, but he'll still score 20 points.
Yeah, doesn't mean everything. I think it's going to be really fun to see them when Love and Kyrie are really smacking the middle of the prime. But Minnesota won this trade, Rob, because I think Andrew Wiggins is going to be...
A top 5.
I think he's going to be an all-star, all-pro, whatever you want to call him.
All right, let's-
I think this kid's good.
All right, skip to 21.
I have Detroit.
All right, I had them at 23. I have Denver Nuggets. I'm sorry, I'm actually a fan of the Nuggets. I kind of like them.
I do too.
But I like what they stand for. I like the whole organization. But they're lacking talent. In my
They
opinion.
don't have one guy you look at, holy moly.
Right.
Like, this guy
Which
is
is
going
why
to
I'm
turn
saying
the
that
team.
it depends what they do. Remember the Red Sox? I have to refer back to baseball because that's
Keep
my
going,
knowledge.
Robbie, keep going.
Remember the Red Sox in 2013 when they won the championship?
Of course I do.
They
had-
kind of remind me of the Nuggets. Like they
No,
kind of, in my opinion, they kind of changed their
get it.
way
I
that
get
they
it.
approached the game. They switched, they
They had
switched
Carmelo.
their whole
They had Carmelo.
mentality. Yes,
Exactly.
into more of a team.
Now they're
thing.
a team.
So I'm saying they can go anywhere from 21 to 26 to 16.
To 16, exactly. And I have Detroit I have Denver at 20, but at 21 I have Detroit because they play just like the Kings. They have a really good center.
Yep.
Andre Drummond, DeMarcus Cousins, Josh Smith, and Rudy Gay, same way ish. And I don't like their guards.
And at 20, you had the Nuggets, right?
I did.
I believe you.
Who do you have at 20? No.
Yes.
The Boston. Are you kidding me? Why?
All right, now you can say I know nothing about basketball, which I might. Okay, I might.
You don't.
Boston Celtics are winning. No.
Don't.
winning
Did you say they're winning?
No. Boston Celtics are gonna have a winning season. If they're gonna be above 500.
Is this
500
real life?
to above.
Is this
oh,
real
I'm
life?
telling you the truth. This is an NBA 2K15 right here. Okay, which Anthony Hanna pre-ordered. I love that kid. But where was I? Oh yeah.
You're
This is NBA 2K14. Okay.
15.
15. Oh, I have my quote. They are gonna make the playoffs this year. You mark my words. They might be an 8
What?
seed, but they
Hold
will
up,
make
hold
the
up,
playoffs.
hold up.
I called it, and if I do, I will become. If I'm right, Colin, will you allow me to be on the basketball show for the rest of the season, for the rest
Shake
of
on
the
it, bud.
career? And if not, I'll never do basketball again.
I don't even want to see you on the set.
I can't risk.
Yeah,
that.
I know. I'm kidding.
But-
But the Celtics will not even be close to contending
Speaking
for playoffs.
of Celtics contending, one of their former Big Three members, Ray Allen.
Right.
People thought he was going to retire at the end of the season.
I never did.
NBA season. I had my doubts on that too. I thought he was going to stay. I mean, the way he plays, he's not running up and down the court.
Exactly.
But he shoots.
He's not like LeBron. He'll be good.
Right. But don't even start with me, Colin. I'm not even going to continue this.
All
But
right.
Ray Allen, he said there was a rumor about Ray Allen playing for the Cavaliers that he had signed. He did not, okay? He later posted on Instagram that day, 3 days ago, today, if I decide to play another season, meaning he hasn't even decided yet to play another season, you will hear it from me first.
Before anybody.
Before anyone else. Don't believe anything you hear or read.
That's Ray Allen. He's going to the
End
Spurs.
quote.
He's going to the Spurs.
That would be
Perfect
great.
fit
I'd love
there.
to see that there.
We'll see though.
Looks like we're gonna have to end this one. But like I said, Celtics are making the playoffs.
Celtics aren't even gonna be in. They're not even gonna make the 10th seed. I don't know what this kid's talking about. See you later.
Alligator.
Hello and welcome to the hockey edition of American Sports News. I'm Herm, that's Evan, and we're going to start this segment off with some bold predictions. And it's only 2 games into the season, but we're going to
go all the way to playoffs.
Yeah, and more specifically the Stanley Cup Finals. It's a long time away, but here you go. So for the West, we have our top 2 teams in the West with the Avalanche and the Wild. We both agreed on that, and we think that they're the top 2 teams in the West.
Well, the Wild, I think that they're a good playoff team. They normally end up playing each other. Past 2 years they have.
Yeah, before the Western Conference Final. 2 great teams, just hard-nosed knock.
East,
Locked
we
up.
have the Montreal Canadiens. I think Pittsburgh is really, they have the talent. Fleury, I mean, he's shaky, but I think he'll do it.
He's inconsistent. He could have a shutout one game, and then he could let in 12 goals the next.
But if
He's
he
just-
plays good, they're
He's
good.
on. And, for the West, we have the Avs winning that and going to the Stanley Cup Final. And then for my Eastern Conference I also had the Canadiens, but on the other side, I had Tampa Bay. I think that Tampa Bay can take it to the house and just buckle down and try and make it as far as they can in the playoffs
Not
this
if
year.
Ben Bishop gets hurt again.
Yeah, Ben Bishop was a Vezina contender, and if
He's
he
a
plays like he
good
did
goalie.
last year
They don't
without getting
have.
hurt,
They don't have the team.
they don't have the
Team
leadership.
game.
They don't have the leadership. The past 3 years,
Stamkosi's an assistant captain, and he shouldn't be a captain.
yeah, the past 3 years they've had 3 different captains. LeCavalier was a captain, he went away. Then they had to put in St. Louis, he got traded,
That was quick. He was captain for a year,
And
and then
then-
he's gone.
and then now they have Stamkos. It's inconsistent leadership, but I think if Stamkos buckles down and tries to take this team, they can go far.
I think the Habs are gonna win that, for sure.
I think the Habs will win
They're
that too.
Carey Price. Playoffs last
Especially-
year, he shut everyone out. They're a good
Especially
team.
what the Canadians did to Tampa last year. They just
That was
destroyed them.
embarrassment for Tampa. How about for goalie? What's his name?
Carey Price,
No, for Tampa. Ben Bishop's
Ben
hurt.
Bishop.
He was hurt during the season, so
And he was still a Vezina candidate. That just shows how good he is. He's
they had the
he's a
backup in.
huge step up from Anders Lindback. Whew, Anders Lindback.
Okay, you don't live on the ice. You're supposed to stand up sometimes.
You got
but, know.
gloves. You know, those help too, Anders. There you go. Little tip.
So
Next
they
we
got
have,
killed for that.
yeah.
And then we got Abs winning it all. They have great coaching.
Patrick Raw. They picked him up as a coach.
He turned the team around from last place to playoff contender.
It's just crazy what happened. And next we have Johnny Boychuk, longtime Bruins defenseman, was traded to the Islanders for a couple draft picks. And I really hate to see this happen.
Yeah.
Like, the Bruins are planning for the future. And they're,
They have all those young defensemen. They don't need him right now, but he's a nice extension. All they have is one more year with Boychuk, and so they kind of had to let him go.
Yeah, and because next year they would lose him to free agency if they want to
Get something.
if they're gonna lose him, they want to get something for him, and so he's gonna be a New York Islander now. They're just trying to plan for the future. I just hate to see it happen. He's one of my favorite players, you know. Take the clap bomb. It's a Johnny Rocket, you know. Jack Edwards is great stuff.
So now we have the bottom 5 of the NHL.
To round this off, we're starting off with number 30, and we have the Edmonton Oilers. They're just not a very
They're a
good
bunch
team.
of young kids with
Exactly.
a good captain
And
who
Andrew
has
Ference.
experiments.
Yeah, he's had
Not science class.
he has lots of experience in the NHL. He has lots of experience playing for a team run with good leadership and Zdeno Chara. And I think in 3 to 4 years, the
They'll be
Oilers
pretty
will
good.
be a good
contender
team.
for the
Contender.
playoffs.
Not necessarily making the playoffs, but playing meaningful games in
That they
in May
don't
and
lose
June.
half of.
Yeah. And then 29, we have the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, first they're a great team. Three years ago, they lose in Game 7 in the Cup to the Bruins. Mm-hmm. And then
Even before that, they had been making the playoffs like every year since like 2008.
and then they go.
Then the downfall.
They have a okay season the year after. Mm-hmm. Then 2 years later, they don't make the playoffs.
They're finishing almost last in the league.
Yeah, which is a shame because the Canucks have always been a good team and should have stayed as
And
playoff.
they had one of the top coaches in the league, John Tortorella, and then he came to Vancouver, and you can't necessarily say he was like a bad coach, but he just couldn't string it together with Vancouver. He still has the same coaching ability, but he just couldn't string it together with Vancouver. He didn't have the same type of guys he had in New York. And 28, we have the Carolina Hurricanes.
They have a great first line, had
And
a great
that's it.
goalie.
Cam Ward's pretty
Streaky.
good. Yeah, very streaky, like Marc-Andre Fleury. He could have a shutout one game, then let in 12 goals the next. He's just so inconsistent.
Especially in playoffs.
Yeah, but when Cam Ward's on, he's on.
Definitely.
And 27, jinx. We have the Calgary Flames. Again, like the Oilers, they haven't had a whole ton of leadership. But they've gotten some good players through trades, and they've picked up some players from the draft.
I mean, they're good. They're a young, establishing team. Goaltending has been an issue 5 years, probably.
But now they've picked up I'd say, a solid goaltender in Jonas Hiller.
yeah,
Who's still
do 'em
rocking the
good.
Coho pads. Never going to stop, I don't think. That's just his style. I'm not a huge fan of Cohos myself.
26.
I think that Calgary is
So staying with
they're
27.
they're in the same boat as Edmonton. 3 to 4 years.
Yeah,
they'll
then
be
they'll
in
be
that-
maybe a contender. I'm not sure.
Because they have Bill Arnold from BC, one of the better players, one of the better forwards on that
Gaudreau.
team as a senior. And then they also have Johnny Gaudreau. Wow. One of the greatest
Size
forwards.
might be an issue at the beginning, but then I'll get over it. Like any
He has
good player will.
so much skill. At BC, he was just incredible. He was incredible. Best forward in the game. And
26.
this will be our last power ranking. We have the Florida Panthers. They had a good addition with Roberto Luongo.
Yep, definitely goaltending, which they needed. They finally
They
got
just
rid
needed-
of Jose Theodore.
Oh. And now they just have a good base to build off, and they're trying to rebuild and just.
I mean, they have good, strong players. They'll be good a little bit in the future. It's going to take a long time, but
And I want to say that they're gonna get back to the playoffs. Have they ever even made the playoffs? They did
a few years ago, 5.
Yeah, something like that. They won their Southeast Division or something back when everything was all different. They might have made the playoffs once or maybe twice, so they can get back to the playoffs.
They could, but
this
it's
is
going
a-
to take a long time, and they're just haven't been good. It's going to take a long time for them to get good.
And they know they'll be golfing in June, and so
They got
this is a good base to get out of that
They can get the team amped up with
a nice tee shot.
from Thornton.
And oh yeah, they also added Sean Thornton, big goon from Boston. And well, that's all we have here for you today from hockey. That's me and Evan signing off. We'll see you.
Now here we are. Last time we saw you, we were predicting for October, and now
It's October.
it's October, and this is the definition of exciting baseball right now.
Wow.
Royals, the wild card team, making it to the ALCS. All right, think about the mountains they have climbed. The A's, the Tigers. There's not many more pitching staffs that can dominate than the Tigers.
And the A's, even.
Yeah. Oh my God, the A's.
John
Lester.
Jeff Samardzija,
Yeah, the Shark. Sonny Gray. Doolittle.
Jason Hamill.
All those guys. We can go on for hours and hours and upon hours, right, Evan? And then in the NLCS. All right. Well, let's finish with the ALCS. We have the Orioles.
Wow. They just
So many clutch performances from
And-
so many different guys.
and it was their turn to win the AL East. It was their turn.
They were due. I mean, they've had delayed talent. That they had a big four pitching rotation that everybody thought was going to dominate 2 years ago. It was a complete bust. And the only person remaining from that, Zach Britton and Chris Tillman. Zach Britton's the closer now. He's got dominating stuff, Jack. He throws a 97-mile-an-hour sinker. Dude, it's a fastball. And I was watching this morning on Quick Pitch. Great show. Hadiwani. Terrible. Sorry. But Quick Pitch is great. His fastball, Jack, you can see he was baffling hitters that you don't see get baffled. It was like Mike Trout, right?
Yeah.
They showed this. He got his hands, contact, right? Contact where the ball's supposed to be. It's right there. And it's the fastball, don't forget. Bang off the table. And you know who that reminds me of?
Who?
Mad Bum.
Speaking of Mad Bum, we can shift over to the NL. It's a perfect transition. I think that the Giants have, the Cardinals have been to the NLCS for the past 4 years. This is their 4th consecutive NLCS, and they've made it to the World Series 2 out of those 4 times.
Yep.
And then the Giants, this is their 3rd NLCS in 5 seasons. All right, these are 2 teams that have good playoff experience on their rosters.
Absolutely.
And I think that even though the Giants were the wild card team, I think that they can be the stronger. Team.
I'm not sure if you might agree with me, but I do think that the World Series winner will come out of the NLCS.
So do I.
Just because of experience and caliber that they have.
And then you have 2 teams from the AL with almost
No
little
experience.
to none.
Right.
Orioles, they did make the playoffs a little while back, but just they don't have
I
a
like
whole lot
Buck
of players.
Showalter though.
So do
I
I.
think he's a great manager.
Such a character.
Oh my God, tell me about it.
So
Kind of reminds me of like a Belichick, kind of like stern to the camera. And then
Yeah.
he just got like his players love him. But yeah.
And Buck Showalter, he had a great statement about J.J. Hardy. He said he doesn't care about seeing his name in lights. He doesn't care about the fame. He doesn't care about the flashy plays. He just wants
Just
to
signed
win.
an extension, right?
What?
They just signed an extension with J.J. Hardy,
Yeah.
right? Millions.
But he's not about like seeing his name in lights. He's not about that big flashy play on SportsCenter. He just wants
And
to win.
that's what makes the Orioles so dangerous. They got so many guys that just want to win.
Like Manny Machado, even though he's not playing.
Machado.
Such a hard-nosed guy.
my
He's just
God.
incredible.
Not always the most respective guy to the game, but it's exciting and it could save baseball guys like that because he's fun to watch. Now I'm gonna go to my prediction for the Royals. Okay. I got the Orioles in 6. I have Game 1, 5-4 Orioles. Game 2, 5-1 Royals. Game 3, 7-2 Orioles. Game 4, 6-5 Royals. So right there, it's 2-2. I think that the Orioles sweep the last 2 games and win it, in spite of all the hype around the Royals, all the fan excitement, because man, are they drawing a crowd. The crowd loves them.
You know, non-baseball fans are hopping right in. They'll be like,
Oh, the Royals! Like,
yeah, the Royals.
when's the last time you've heard the Royals? Like,
in the playoffs?
yeah. But now here's my stats for that series, okay? I've got the Orioles players of the series, just because I think that they're going to win. I have Andrew Miller. He's going to pitch 4 innings. I think he's going to strike out 7, not allow 1 run.
Wow.
Yeah.
a
mean,
big
we saw that. We saw that in Boston. That stuff. Zach Britton, amazing. He's going to close out most of the games. I mean, or all the games, in my opinion. 5 innings and 4 Ks. He's not a strikeout guy, but man.
But he
pitch.
can get them.
And then Chris Tillman, I'm calling, he's going to start 2 of these games. He's going to throw 13 innings, 8 innings one game, 5 the other. And he's going to strike out 12 and only allow 3 runs. And then their batters, Nelson Cruz, he's going to hit 335, 1 home run, 5 RBIs. Delman Young, he's only going to hit 205. And now here's why I put him on the list. His production, I feel like he's going to hit 1 big home run, and I say he hits 2 this series, and he's going to hit 1 big one. And then what's his name? Pierce.
Steve
Pierce, yeah, so I was right. Remember at the beginning of the year, we didn't know who he was?
Yeah, no one even knew.
We
Just like
were
Charlie
broadcasting
Blackmon.
the game, yeah.
Just like Charlie Blackmon.
I think he's going to hit 440.
He's been so consistent with the Orioles. He's just been playing incredibly.
Yep.
He reminds me of Buster Posey.
What do you think's going to happen during the series? Who are your players to watch?
I think that the Royals are going to take the ALCS in 7. I think the Giants will take the NLCS in 6. And my players to watch, I think that Posey in his career has hit 286 in the postseason, and that's in 8 different series. That's a pretty good stat.
286. 286 is pretty dang good.
And then, but Posey does only happen to hit 182 versus Wainwright.
And how many at-bats, though, is the key.
I'm not sure.
But I mean, they're both National League guys. They have to have faced each other, and they've both been around the block a few times.
Mm-hmm. But the Giants as a team have hit 272 versus Wainwright.
That's a good average against. Now, we're going to head over to the NLCS. I got Giants. Wait until you hear this one. Giants are going to sweep the series. Madison Bumgarner is going to throw 8 innings, allow 1 run, 2 hits, and 11 strikeouts. Oh, my God.
And just speaking of Mad Bum really quick.
Mad Gum.
Mad Gum.
Big League Jew.
John Jay on the Cardinals versus Madison Bumgarner, he hits 455.
There's another guy with a big average. Is it Carpenter? Is he
Carpenter.
at 600?
600. That's only in I think
5
at-bats
yeah.
or something.
But still, he's getting production off him, and this is something we should look forward to. I think Pablo Sandoval is going to have a big series just because he's the Panda and he produces.
And the Cardinals.
And I
Cardinals
think, like you said earlier, Posey.
Cardinals as a team hitting 178 against Mad Bum.
No. I mean, like, I agree with you, but I mean, like, no.
That's just shut down. I think the Cards and the Giants are
wait
both
until
going
you see
to
who's
way
gonna
outdo those averages.
come out in relief.
Who?
Tim Lincecum is going to throw 4 innings in relief, allow no runs, 6 Ks, going to be in the starting rotation for the World Series. You mark my words. This is MLB with Robbie Carpentier
And Herm.